This week on Outdoors Delmarva, we're headed on a surf, shark, and adventure off the coast of Delaware, yet closer than ever to these monsters on the beach.
There's a major project happening on the Chesapeake Bay. Hop on board to see how a man-made oyster reef is taking shape.
And a local community is keeping its heritage alive by getting youngsters hooked on the outdoors.
Plus, viewer photos and your chance to win this Perception Sound 10 kayak package from Survival Products right now on Outdoors Delmarva.
This is killing.
Hi everybody and welcome to Outdoors Delmarva. I'm Mike Parker.
And I'm Captain Willie Dykes, and we're really glad you joined us.
Outdoors Delmarva shines a spotlight on the people and the places that make our area an outdoor enthusiast paradise.
And each week, Mike and I will take you to new adventures from all over Delmarva.
And with that in mind, Willie, you've got a little traveling to do, my friend, and we'll check in with you a little bit later in the program. We begin here on the Atlantic coast of Sussex County at the 3 R's Beach, a fishing beach just south of the Indian River Inlet. And what brings us here is a combination of excitement, mystery, even a little bit of fear, a combination that's created a shark fishing boom for local anglers. And they're doing it from right here on the beach. It was an evening trip for me this time to the 3 R's Beach, just south of the Indian River Inlet in Sussex County.
Watch out for these lines here.
And when I met up with Ben Jaworski, he had everything ready to go. A cooler filled with freshly cut bluefish, special hooks, and homemade shark rigs. And a great attitude, considering he was about to send one of his friends out on a kayak at feeding time.
All right, man, drop the bait, drop the bait. And most people think we're pretty crazy when we kayak out the bait, especially at night, because we're kayaking out to catch sharks, and they don't really understand that whole concept of purposely trying to catch sharks. But I assure anyone who's a skeptic, when you reel one in or when you see one pulled out of the water, it's there's just nothing like it at all.
Now, I wouldn't call myself a skeptic, but after Ben and the crew from Surf, Shark, and Adventures sent me this photo a few weeks ago, claiming they were pulling in big sand tigers like this one right off the beach, I definitely wanted to see for myself. And within 20 minutes, I had all the proof I needed.
The first one we got was 75 with a fork length of 62, so 6'3" shark. The next one we got double hooked, and the second one we lost in the wash. I was estimated to be around 8 feet.
The one shark that was landed was a big shark by most accounts, with big teeth as you'd expect. What you might not is that this aspiring group of pro fishing guides isn't only landing sharks like this just for the fun of it. In a partnership with NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, these surf sharkers are helping collect valuable scientific data.
I knew I wanted to give something back. I'm catching all these sharks. They're protected species, so obviously they're somewhat endangered, and I'm catching so many of them. I really wanted to figure out how I could give back to the environment. You know, how can I do my part to help those researchers that aren't, you know, seeing as many of these as I am? And I did a little research, and I found out that NOAA had a really big apex predator tagging program, and sand tigers was one of the sharks they were looking to get more research on. No one had ever tagged or released one that I know of, especially from the beach.
So with every catch, a numbered tag like this one is attached, and measurements of the body and tail, estimated weight, and date and location of the catch are recorded. If re-caught, the information will help shed light on migration patterns, growth rates, and reproductive habits of each shark species.
We're approaching the prime time for shark fishing right now.
As this beautiful warm evening turned into cooler night, we'd already brought 2 sharks into shore. And there is no slowing down. Just like that, the fight is on again to reel in 2 lines at once as the surf sharkers do their best to land the double.
It's just one of those things where there's people that have been attacked. You know, people have died, people have lost arms, legs, and it's kind of that unknown. You know, it's murky water. You never know what's down there. There's Jaws, you know, Deep Blue Sea, all the movies, and people, it kind of creates an eerie feeling where people aren't 100% comfortable. You know, if they see us reeling something in, they don't know, has that been there all day? You know, will that bite me in the water? And it's kind of that unknown that really creates the that extra, like, special feeling, I guess, when you actually do land a shark and to finally conquer, I guess, the unknown.
Don't even get a breath.
It's a success, as the biggest sharks yet are unhooked, measured and tagged.
87 inches.
Nice.
71.
While still ready to fight another day, they're now fitted with a tool that could eventually save a species.
Surf Sharking Adventures. This is how we do it, baby.
So now even I'm going to be wondering what could be lurking just a couple hundred yards off the beach. But remember this, sand tigers are a protected species, so if you catch one, be gentle.
Still to come on Outdoors Delmarva, we'll check in with Captain Willie over on the Chesapeake Bay side, see what's being dropped in that could help Mother Nature do a little cleanup work. And later, don't miss your chance to win this Perception Sound 10 kayak package from Survival Products. But first,
Taw's Marine Insurance asks, did you know?
How many sand tiger shark pups are usually born in a litter? The answer when we come back.
Outdoors Delmarva is brought to you by Survival Products, Lewis Harbor Marina, and Delmarvalist.com. Outdoors Delmarva will be right back.
Did you know? An adult female sand tiger shark typically gives birth to 2 live young at a time.
Welcome back to Outdoors Delmarva. I'm Captain Willie Dykes. The Chesapeake Bay is a prime spot for outdoor recreation and a place where many watermen make a living. But as some of the bay's most important natural resources have been dwindling, the efforts to restore them have been growing. Take a look.
I'm right behind, right inside Cook Point.
Our trip began from the public docks at Bellevue, and I had about 20 minutes to imagine what I'd soon see happening at the mouth of the Choptank River.
Patricia Campbell.
What we found had a name, the Patricia Campbell, a working boat fitted with a crane and a deck filled with precious cargo, disguised amongst a mountain of concrete shells, known as reef balls.
These reef balls are igloo-shaped or half-dome-shaped concrete structures that were actually made by Chesapeake Bay Foundation volunteers and staff. It was all funded by NOAA through a grant from an organization called Restore America's Estuaries.
Say it again.
2 of these flag buoys should mark the southern 2 corners.
Preloaded, you could say. Each one of these 350-pound reef balls arrives covered with hundreds of tiny oysters, prepared in off-site underwater setting tanks filled with millions of microscopic oyster larvae. The larvae attach themselves to the pits and crevices on the surface and quickly grow into a more recognizable form, complete with a small shell. Through an impressive process that takes several hours to complete, the reef balls are rigged and lifted from the deck 3 or 4 at a time. Then gently lowered into the depths below. A process this crew will complete at least 3 times this summer.
We're helping what Mother Nature did for thousands of years here, perhaps, but then man sort of intruded, and so now we're just acting like the doctor, restoring what Mother Nature can do. We're putting her back to work, basically.
Over the course of a few years, the sanctuary reef is taking shape. This underwater video, courtesy of the Maryland Artificial Reef Initiative, shows young oysters growing into adults and populations of fish and other sea life mingling together around this unnatural structure. And with several reef ball drops completed this summer alone, this work in progress should keep working for a long, long time.
While you can't harvest oysters from a sanctuary reef area, you can fish around them, and they make great fish habitat. To find reef locations on the Chesapeake, check out the Outdoors Delmarva section on WBOC.com.
Coming up next, our Outdoor Product of the Week and your chance to win this Perception Sound 10 kayak package from Survival Products. We'll show you how to enter.
And still to come, magnificent images from the area's premier wildlife photographer. Get wild with Kevin Fleming, later on Outdoors Delmarva. But first,
did you know the eastern Hercules beetle can lift up to 850 times its own body weight?
Welcome back to Outdoors Delmarva, everyone. I'm Mike Parker. Right now it's time to show you our product of the week. This is where we show you some of the coolest products out there right now designed to get you outdoors. And joining me today is Joe Pagliaro with Survival Products. How you doing, Joe?
Good, Mike. How are you?
Survival Products right here in Salisbury. And Joe, show us what we have here in front of us.
Well, we have a 10-foot Perception Sound 10 kayak, extremely stable kayak. We're looking at about a width of 30 inches, which is going to play in the stability of it. Weighs about 40 pounds, so extremely light and stable. First, I'd like to talk about is the actual hull design of this kayak. Because it's got the 30 inches and it's a nice flat bottom kayak, it's going to give us excellent stability. The secondly I'd like to talk about is the actual tri-keel that we have here, which is a little different than most kayaks. This tri-keel is going to give us a nice steady platform for entry and exit of this boat, and it also plays in the tracking of this kayak, which allows the boat to go nice and straight. Thirdly, and most importantly, is obviously going to be a nice seating system. And this kayak has it all. It's got a nice good high backrest with plenty of padding here to support the lower and upper back. And then of course you have a nice padded bottom right here.
I see you have some other products here too inside the kayak, and I understand they're part of a package deal here at Survival Products.
Yes, Mike. The package deal on this particular kayak is $399.95. It comes with a one-size-fits-all APF, or what we call a life jacket. Nice and breathable, nice good visible colors here. It fits anybody that's 90 pounds on up. Very open, so it's going to be very breathable, especially during this heat wave. And also I have a nice good lightweight aluminum paddle. The weight on this is pretty light, and it's got a nice good curvature to the blade and also a stiff design, so this is going to give us a good entry into the water and also a clean exit as we lift up for our next stroke.
Well, now that you've seen it, you want it, and here's your chance to win it.
Willie, tell them how to enter.
To enter to win this Perception Sound 10 kayak package from Survival Products, send a postcard with your name, address, and phone number to Outdoors Delmarva, care of WBOC-TV, 1729 North Salisbury Boulevard, Salisbury, Maryland, 21801. Just one postcard does it all, and you're entered for this week's giveaway, and you'll stay in the running to win other products featured in the future. Still ahead on Outdoors Delmarva, a local town puts its outdoor roots on display. We catch up with kids keeping traditions alive.
Did you know? Trap Pond State Park in Sussex County is home to the northernmost stand of naturally occurring bald cypress trees in the United States.
Welcome back to Outdoors Delmarva. I'm Captain Willie Dykes. As a pilot of Chopper 16, I've found there are parts of our area that are best seen from the air, and there's one spot that you can actually see disappearing from the Chesapeake Bay.
The last house on Holland Island, just north of Smith Island in the Chesapeake, looks like it might be floating away. In reality, the island is disappearing from around it. People came to this island in the 1600s and built a community of farmers and watermen that boasted 60 homes and over 300 souls. The bay has eaten away at the shoreline until less than a quarter of the island remains. Wildlife, including this bald eagle, still find it a good place to live. The last residents left in 1920, and their only traces are 2 graveyards, one in this marsh and one under the heron rookery in this thicket, and this lone structure locked in a battle with the wind and the waves.
Mike, I never get tired of that bird's eye view from Chopper 16. Back to you.
Thanks, Willie. Well, for many of us, our love of the outdoors began at a very young age when our families and neighbors taught us skills and took us along on their own outdoor adventures. And I found the same thing is still happening during my visit to one Delmarva town.
All aboard!
Even on a sweltering day, the train was still rolling when it came to learning.
I'm here to do all sorts of game like fishing and BB guns.
There you go. 3 fingers.
Kids learning about bows and arrows and bullseyes, and adults aiming to shoot down stereotypes and preserve traditions.
My goal is to get them out here and show them that the shooting sports can be a lot of fun. We're trying to keep our heritage alive so that it can be promoted onto our kids.
Looks pretty good to me. I don't know if I'm a sharpshooter or not, but it looks pretty good.
On the rifle range, the chance to shoot some .22 rounds was right on target. For 8-year-old Jenna Anger from Bridgeville, Sussex County, it was about perfecting her technique.
Well, you put the bullet in and then you look in the little dot thingy and then you aim and then you shoot it.
After he shot at the rabbit, you throw the bird.
For a more experienced shooter, the sporting clays area was a hit, even if you missed. And around every corner was something or someone new.
I love the outdoors. I've loved it since I was young, and we like to come out here and watch everybody have a good time.
And by the looks of it,
all aboard!
This train is right on track.
And that is exactly the type of thing that I used to do when I was a kid. Still ahead on Outdoors Delmarva, we show off some of the photos sent in by our own Outdoors Delmarva viewers. But first, we spend time with the area's premier nature photographer. Kevin Fleming shows us the lights when Outdoors Delmarva returns. Welcome back to Outdoors Delmarva, everyone. I'm Mike Parker.
And I'm Captain Willie Dykes. If there's one thing I've learned during my years of flying, is that the sun can be your best friend or your worst enemy.
It's pretty tough to see up there sometimes.
You bet.
Well, it's funny how that same sunlight, though, at a different time of day, can reveal things you didn't even know were there. Photographer Kevin Fleming shares some of his own experience in a segment we call Wild Delmarva.
It's all about the light. So I go out before sunrise and at sunset to get the best light. In this case, this is one of the World War II fire control towers at Cape Henlopen State Park. There's absolutely nothing happening in this picture except really dramatic light. This is probably my most popular photograph in my gallery in Bethany Beach. It's the crack of sunrise just breaking the horizon there. There are clouds above it, and the water is washing around the rocks at Herring Point at Cape Henlopen State Park. That's a slow shutter speed that allows me to have the shutter open for, say, 4 seconds and allows the water to move around the rocks and add a little more interest there than just like a frozen wave would be. If you look at a large print of that, it's almost like you're looking out a window. These are pelicans at Smith Island on the Chesapeake Bay. Timing is everything. You just hope that you get 2 birds in just the right spot. In this case, I like the way they are framed right around the sun, so that was kind of the verb in that picture. I thought this was going to be pretty much a lost day. It was mostly cloudy. It was pretty much the hand of God lighting this picture. And when I found the 2 pintails that flew right in front of the sunbeams at just the right time, it was absolutely perfect. This is one of my new favorite photographs. This is about a month old now. And it's about 20 minutes before sunrise. With the digital cameras, I'm able to shoot with a very high ISO of 1100, which gives me a high enough shutter speed to stop the action of the herons in a time when there's really not a lot of light in the sky. It's very colorful light, but not a lot of it. So with a 600mm lens, I'm able to get that magic moment of all the herons vying for the same spot. When it all works like that, it is indeed magic.
Indeed, Kevin, indeed. Thank you for sharing some of those magnificent photos.
It's time now to share some of the photos submitted by our own Outdoors Delmarva viewers.
Brought to you by Branchie's Gun Shop.
This first photo was taken aboard a local charter boat. Gary Glandon from Felton in Kent County recently caught this big bluefin tuna while fishing aboard the Miss Caroline out of Ocean City. Nice fish.
Check out this whopper of a snapping turtle spotted by Cindy Black from Milton. Cindy suspects this turtle lives in a nearby pond and is probably laying eggs in her yard.
And here's a photo taken from Virginia waters. Amy Parker was aboard the Lucky Duck off Watchup Creek recently when this large school of cow-nosed rays swam by.
Amazing. How about this? Rachel Lynch of Lewis sent in this evening shot of the Cape May Lewis Ferry.
And viewer T.J. Given from Ellendale sent in a few shots he took while out and about in Sussex County. The first is this friendly little turtle, and a close-up of this praying mantis T.J. found right in his own backyard.
Well, we love sharing your viewer photos, so keep them coming. You can email me at mparker@wboc.com.
Well, what a great week of adventures, and we're just getting started.
You can say that again. For Captain Willie Dykes, I'm Mike Parker, reminding you to get outdoors, Delmarva.
To enter to win this Perception Sound 10 kayak package from Survival Products, send a postcard with your name, address, and phone number to Outdoors Delmarva, care of WBOC-TV, 1729 North Salisbury Boulevard, Salisbury, Maryland, 21801. Just one postcard does it all, and you're entered for this week's giveaway, and you'll stay in the running to win other products featured in the future.
Don't forget to catch us at our regular time, Saturdays at 7:30.